Lucia, and this is my first video, as you can tell, and I'm gonna do on how I got a 9 in GCSE Spanish. And I didn't really expect to get a 9. I was just happy with a 7+, because I think in the mock before, I got a 6 or a 7 or something like that. But that's what I was getting. And my writing didn't even really get marked because the teacher was like, what happened? Maybe I knew deep down that I can do it, and I guess you have to believe in yourself to be able to do it, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you're just gonna like manifest yourself to do really badly, you know? And Spanish was a lot of ups and downs for me. I was like, oh my god, I'm not doing this. Or like when we were doing online and they'll be like, you need to say something now, and I'll be like, I don't know what to say. Like, speaking was my biggest thing, actually. Well, speaking was the thing that I was most scared of, but I don't think it was the thing that I was worst at in the end, I don't think. But yeah, and also most of my content isn't going to be academic, and I probably won't do another video for goodness knows how long. But I thought, if I know these things, I must as well tell you. And I will put my GCSE Spanish, the proof that I got a 9 here, but I don't have it with me right now. One tip in general though is that use all the things that your school give you, because they give it to you for a reason, and if they don't give you that much, then find some of the things online. I have got a lot of things right here to show you, and I climbed up a ladder to go in the loft for the first time on my own, and my parents are not home, to get this stuff, so better be worth it, you know. Also, the writing will help with your reading will help with writing, and listening will help with speaking will help with listening. I'm going to go through each writing, speaking, reading, listening, and give you the tips that helped me get to where I got to. The place I struggled with was writing, because my tenses, I would get them all mixed up, and I'll be like, is this the conditional or is it the, I don't know. Yeah, I would be like, and then my teacher would be reading it, she's like, Lucia, this doesn't make sense. You're trying to use really fancy stuff, but it's just not working. And I was like, okay. And obviously, a really good way to practice is to do past papers, like especially with writing, because with writing you never know what you're gonna get. It's gonna be like they're all similar, they're all like each theme topic. I did Excel Spanish, but I don't know whether AQA might be similar, I don't know. Yeah, when it came really close, I did a lot of past papers, like just random questions. I would just do one. I wouldn't actually, I don't think I did that much. But like, I remember sitting out in the garden, I'll be like, okay, right, I've got to do a question, I've got to do one of the smaller questions, like each one of the questions that's in the paper, whether you're doing foundation or higher. Like in foundation, you'll do one picture task question, and then one of the 20 mark, I think it's 20 mark, or is that the big one? Or is it 16 or something like that? And then one of the next questions, but then in the higher, you'd do one of each question in that as well, and translations. And I think with writing a lot and reading as well, this book really helps, because when you do the reading tasks in this book, you can see how they write in here, and you can pick up on phrases and be like, oh, I like that phrase, because some of the phrases you can just pick out and just add it on to things, like just put things together. Something fun actually that helped me like get up more in writing was using idioms, which are like, it was as easy as a piece of cake, or we fight like cats and dogs. And I will link the website that I used for some of them down in the description. For example, is like sin perder un momento, which means without wasting a moment, or without losing a moment. And then you can go on to say blah 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 blah. Like with Spanish writing, it's all adding on, like why, who, what, where. And because my weakness was the tenses, I like literally just before I went to the exam as well, at home in the morning, the evening before, I was just going on language gym, and my school got us language gym. I'm not sure if there's another good thing out there that you can do the same on, but you can just revise tenses, and it'll be like, what is the tense, or it'll give you a verb, infinitive, like if it's bailar, then you have to write down what to type in. I dance, he, she dances, we dance, they dance, all of those. And I was just going over and over and over the like four tenses. I think 3 tenses is the limit that you should put in writing. Like 3 is a good number. And sometimes you can do like a paragraph for each tense, and it helps split it up, because then you just know that you're going to get in tenses. Now usually there's 4 bullet points, so you can do 1 tense for each, and usually they do that on purpose. Like the bullet points are phrased in a way that gets you to use a certain tense. So if you've only used like 2 tenses, then something might be up. Use your teachers, okay? Get them to mark lots of writings that you do, because that's what's going to happen. You get them marked, and then they can add in things where you think you can improve. Yeah, like teachers are there to help you, so you must as well use them. It is their job. They can't exactly say no. That's a bit rude. But yeah, I just got these writing practices from school. Like some of them you just translate sentences, or it gives you like exam questions, and then I'll just do it on another piece of paper. Okay, now when you get into the exam, for the writing exam, write down. What I did is I wrote down all the tenses that I know and all the like endings, because I was like, I might forget them, and because I'd just gone over them before I went into the exam, I was like, right, got to write those down. And then I was like, and also it shows the examiner, I guess, that you do know all of the tenses because you've written them on the side. And also write down all the fancy phrases that you want to use, because then it's just like a checklist and you can just throw them in. And even when you finish at the end and you think, oh, I didn't use any of them, you can just add them in, because a lot of them start the sentences or end the sentences, or is a better reason. Like instead of just saying porque es aburrido, you can put in one of the fancy reasons there. Found that in the mocks I didn't do as well because I was panicking. I had to sit the exam because it clashed with my geography exam, so I had to sit it with the sociology people sitting their exam, and I just got really panicked and I started rushing, and I didn't do any of this stuff at the beginning, and then I sat there and I was like, I still have lots of time left, what do I do? And I didn't look over it and check it enough, I don't think. I just scanned through it and I was like, oh, thank God I'm done. But I don't think that was a good idea. But anyway, I'm so glad that it worked out in the real exam, because I was panicking because the exam that I did before that, the December mocks, I did really well in, and then the March ones, it was like, also ignore the lipstick on my hand. I haven't scrubbed it off, as you can tell. Also, if I haven't gone into anything in enough detail, please tell me in the comments, because I feel like I jump to and fro things, to and from. I keep going between things and going explaining things like this, so I don't know. But now I'm going to move on to speaking. Speaking, I was so scared for. I think that's the part that nobody likes. Like, if there wasn't a speaking element in A-level Spanish, I might have considered picking it. Right, you need to get yourself one of these. I'll try and find a link to it online. I don't know, I got it from my school, or your school might give you them, I'm not sure. But this basically has all the questions basically that you can be asked, and it's not going to be exactly word for word, but if you practice all these questions, like, you don't memorize them, but you know what to say, like the bases. You know how to start the question, you know how to end it, you know what they're looking for, you know which tense it's in, then you should be fine, because they're not going to ask you really weird questions. Like, these are weird questions, but they're not going to be too far from this. Like, they can't be that different. And this shows it in, like, these are all the different modules and themes, so they're in themes. And you can just ask them with your friends, ask them to your friends, get them to ask them to you, or if you don't want to do that, then I literally sat in my room, I would ask myself a question and then answer it right then. I was just sitting in my chair, and yes, my throat did get quite sore, but it's okay. Or sometimes I record myself answering the questions, so then it's like and then leave a gap for me to answer, because then it's kind of like what it's actually going to be like, because you're not going to be speaking to yourself. And yeah, I have more of the fancy phrases down there. And also I did have these flashcards as well that I used, and these go by theme as well. Each colour is a different theme, but the question is on that side, and then it gives you a sentence starter on this side if you don't know. These are what I used at first, and then once I got kind of comfortable and I was like, okay, then I moved on to these. And this is for the conversations, by the way, the questions at the end. When you go into the speaking exam, have a few fancy phrases in your head that you know. Pronunciation really helps, and you don't have to sound like a native Spanish speaker. Like, I do not sound like a Spanish speaker, I sound like an English person speaking Spanish. But like when there's two L's next to each other, you'll pronounce it as y, not l. Or when it's a J, you'll pronounce it as h, not j. Or when the word ends in able, you'll pronounce it as able, not able. It's just little things like that. Or like even pronouncing I in English, you'll pronounce it, but in Spanish it'll be e. Okay, now my least favourite part, but the part that was probably the most helpful, is practicing speaking with your Spanish, like literally going through it like how you would do it in the exam. We had one mock exam for Spanish and that went quite well, I think, but I'm actually glad that I had that, because I was panicking in that exam. And then in the real one I was kind of like, it's okay, just got to stay calm and keep your head on, because as soon as your head goes out the window, your mouth's gonna run away with you. Your teacher also can correct you on the spot. She can be like, or she can like guide you, like say add on more, or who you going with, or what, or speak in the past, speak in the future, or speed up, or calm down. One thing that my Spanish teacher did, actually, she didn't do it to me. I think it was because I can't remember which question she asked. It was something like, are you nervous or something? I don't know. Surely I would say yes, but something that she asked, and she gave the students like calming drops. Incense? No, it's not incense. It's like drops, herbal lavender things to calm them down. So I mean, it's not guaranteed that your teacher's gonna have that, but you can always get that, because I think it did calm them down, and they thought, oh, that's nice. Like, it makes you think that you're going to calm down, so it calms you down. And for conversation 1, which is the one that you choose the topic of yourself, and I did it on work, and we memorised the whole thing basically. We wrote it down, got my teacher to mark it, and then memorised it. I'm not sure if that's how we were meant to do it, but that's what we did. I don't think everyone in the class actually memorised it fully. Like, they memorised most of it and then they would just YOLO it. But yeah, sometimes I would go off track and I would forget it a bit, but I would always come back to it, and I'm like, at least I have a place, at least I know something should go correctly, because I've done it so many times, the exact same thing over and over again. The teacher would ask, well, the examiner, well, it's recorded, isn't it? So it is my teacher speaking. My teacher would ask the question, and then I'll go with the first bit of my thing that I wrote, and then she'd ask another question which would fit with the next bit, and so on and so on. And the more you say for each question, the less questions they're going to ask you. So, and then they're going to move on to conversation 2. And as long as you keep expanding your answer, if you know that you can, you should do that, because then you'll get less questions. Like, if they ask algo maths, have you got anything else, then try, but if not, then just say no, it's fine, move on to the next question. Just ask yourself, when are you going? Who are you going with? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Like, is it a friend's birthday? Or you have a really good time together, that's why you always go to do fun things? Or was she feeling sad, so you needed to cheer her up? Past papers of speaking, literally decide, right, today do you want to do the role play, the picture task, or the conversations? So if you want to do the conversations, or if you want to do, oh, these are more questions, or the picture task. Like, I didn't start speaking the picture tasks till probably halfway through year 10. We would just write them and use this chatty map, like in your head, when, well, not in your head, when I got into the exam. Basically, when you get into the Spanish speaking exam, you have 12 minutes to prepare in a different room, right? And this, you get given the picture and the role play, like the bit that you can see. And so it tells you the basis of what the role play questions will be on, so you can literally prepare them and write them down. That's what I did. And then I wrote down PLACE and would just write bullet points of what I'm going to say for the picture task and what I can see in the picture. That helps so much. If I didn't have that and had to make it up on the spot, I don't even know. But yeah, and this one's good because it has key questions on the back as well, that people ask, and for the role play it has keywords that usually come up depending on the topic. And question words, make sure that you know your question words, because if you don't even understand the question, you're not going to be able to answer it. But then again, if you don't understand the question, and the question is something like, do you like to go out with your friends? Even if you don't understand what they say when they say go out with your friends, literally say, I enjoy to go out with my friends because it's always really fun. Like, they're not going to know that you don't understand it. You just repeat the phrase that they said. Just give a reason that's in general, not specific. And also in the prep time, I wrote down like all the connectives that I can use and the sentence starters and some fancy phrases as well, because if you start panicking, you can just look at that piece of paper. They're not recording your face, they're recording your voice. So if you look down, it's fine. Like, to check your piece of paper, they're not going to be able to tell if you're reading off something. And it's pretty hard to read off something because you only have 12 minutes to prepare. But it's there as like a barrier for you to fall back onto if you can't remember anything else to say. Okay, now you need to know the order of the exam so that you feel safe and you know exactly what you're going to get when you go in there. You have the 12 minutes preparation, and then the role play, and then the picture task, and then conversation 1, and they'll ask you a few questions on your chosen topic, and then conversation 2, which is a random topic that they'll ask you questions on. You just keep your cool and sound confident. Don't speak like this, and don't say lots of like either speak or not speak. You can take pauses if you want, but obviously the recording is only like 12 minutes long anyway, so you can't take a really long break. Okay. And for listening, I don't have many tips for listening. Speaking was probably the one that has the most tips. Listen to Spanish music. Like, there must be some Spanish music out there that you already listen to, but get a playlist, add the people from your Spanish class into it. This is what we did. Get all the Spanish songs on there, just have a boogie, you know, like get the lyrics up. You can join in with the lyrics. You can sing to the lyrics in your bedroom, you know, get those Spanish grooves on. But also you can watch your favourite series but in Spanish, put it on Spanish and then put on English subtitles, and because they're moving and you can see their actions, you kind of know what they're saying. Like, I also watched Peppa Pig. Yeah, I know. But it was really easy to follow along because they'll be getting in the car and Peppa would say like, let's get in the car in Spanish, and I'd be like, okay, like that's kind of, and it's simpler Spanish. Like in movies and things, it's going to be like a lot of the time, but some words will keep coming up and you'll be like, ah, yeah. and then you'll hear it in real life or see it in an exam paper, you'll be like, oh my god, I know that from Peppa Pig or from whatever it is you're watching. I went for a stage where I watched Disney's Violetta in Spanish with English subtitles on. Sometimes I tried to take them off, but then it wasn't as fun because I actually got really into it. It's really funny. You just need to get your brain like used to listening to things. Like, obviously you're probably not in Spain, I'm guessing, so you're not going to be exposed to Spanish all the time. It's just going to be English around you until you get into that Spanish classroom, and that's the only time you use it. But if you listen to Spanish music and watch Spanish things, then it kind of like puts it in your head more. And also for listening, this book really helped me. Because basically, you open it to like a random page. These are like what the exam questions look like, right? And you can scan the QR code and then it takes you to a place where you can listen to the recording, and then you can do the listenings by yourself without the school laptop. So those are really good. And a lot in the class before we went to the listening exam, like the few days before that we didn't, when that was the next exam, we would just do listenings. Like she'll play it on the laptop and we'd just do it. We'd just do loads and loads and loads. The more practice you get, the more second nature it's going to become. And also for listening, speaking does help. Like, obviously when people are asking you questions and speaking, then you have to listen to them. So listening to, like, your Spanish teacher, listening to them say things a lot is going to help. And also, we didn't do this that much, but you can ask your Spanish teacher to just speak in Spanish to you sometimes. Like, you'll have one day a week or something where they just speak in Spanish. Reading. Yeah, learn the vocabulary for each topic. So, this, I did use this for writing and speaking. This was really helpful. This is a Spanish knowledge organizer. I also have another one for some reason. It's more crinkled, but this, it has like the tenses at the beginning. Useful vocabulary. Describing picture. And then theme 1. And it will have all the vocabulary basically that you need. And some sentences as well that you can use. And basically it just has all the themes with useful vocabulary. But if you can't get one of those, also I'm guessing most schools have these, and there's the foundation one as well, but these obviously at the end of each topic they have the list of vocabulary for that topic, like these pages. These are very good. Use them. Go on Memrise. For each theme you search up or find vocabulary. I'll try and link that in the description as well, because I don't exactly know how I got on that. I think it was linked from my school maybe. You can ask your teacher to set Memrise things for each theme. And also Quizlet. This one has like a QR code that you can scan for the Quizlet things as well. I'm not sure if it will work if you like screenshot it. Oh wait, I don't know if that's sort of like the right QR code. But yeah, on each page it has like a QR code to scan. But on Quizlet, tons of people have made so many flashcards already. I will link my Quizlet down in the description below, because I made some. And yeah, just keep going over them. Keep going over them until you know them. And then when you do readings, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that word. Or like, do vocabulary tests. I remember at school, we did like, when we finished learning a theme or a topic in a theme, my teacher would give us a small vocabulary test and we just write the meaning of each word. And it depends how good your memory is, I guess, but if you just keep going over it, Spanish is hard, but it's definitely doable. whatever your goal is. If you're doing foundation and you just want to pass, or if you want to get a 5, or you want to get a 9, or anything, you just got to practice. You got to become Spain. Like, a lot of the time I would just go around before my exam speaking random things, like going around my house being like, un botella de agua. I would just go around saying things, or I'll be like, what's an exclamation? Caramba! Which means wow. Or lo siento. Like, I would just say things, or be like, hola, ¿qué tal? It paid off. So that's it. Thanks for watching this video. If you really stuck through to the end, then thank you. My bed is now a mess. I'm in the middle of putting up a new bed. Well, I just took down my old bed, so now I have space to put up my new bed. But this white background is actually quite cool, you know? Like, it's great. But anyway, I better go before my storage runs out again. But thanks for watching.